and welcome back to another episode of Bianca Bears All. And today we have an award-winning entrepreneur, a father, a speaker, a motivator, and a mentor, Abdul Bangura.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Right, when I first reached out to you on Facebook, because we're Facebook friends, I was literally just going to ask you to come on and just cover the whole topic of like being a single dad. And then when I actually dived more into your life, like, whoa, like you have got such a big story. And I thought, you know what, we need to touch on, we're not going to be able to like proper dive into it all because we haven't got that much time, but I just need to touch on, like, I think that your story will help so many people. You know, you carried on going when you wanted to, when a lot of people would have given up, sort of thing.
Sure.
So let's just go back to from the first beginning.
Yeah.
What's your heritage? How was your childhood like?
Okay, cool. So I was born and raised in Southend.
Yeah.
My parents are both from Sierra Leone. My dad was in the army.
Okay.
In the British Army, in the Royal Artillery, and he was based at Shoebury. That's why Southend. My dad has always worked for himself. I've never seen him work for anyone ever. My mum's always had her own businesses. So she actually had like the first black hair salon in Southend.
Oh, wow.
So she had that for about 13, 14 years. And then just being a counsellor, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, so my childhood, I've got a younger brother, 2 older sisters. I'd say it was very different because I was like a minority growing up in a majority white area.
Okay.
So like now looking back at my childhood, I think, how did I even accept that behaviour? Like, how did I even accept that talk? But at the time, I didn't really understand.
Yeah. What did you go through then?
So like a lot of like racism, a lot of like discrimination, like a lot of like underhand jokes that like now they would not run. But you see when you're like 12, 13, like, I don't know. I didn't realise. I did to a degree, but I didn't like, there wasn't enough black people around me to go, yo, listen, that can't run kind of thing, innit? You know what I'm saying? So, so I'd say I grew up like, as anyone in that situation would have grown up, I guess, like, my family weren't poor, we weren't rich, but we went from having a lot to not having a lot. So I think that's where my kind of like financial motivation come from like knowing that we can have more and like, okay, what can I kind of do to get more in it? So
definitely. Yeah. And at 18, your life started turning for the worst, and you did do 5.5 years behind bars for drug charges. Could you just like explain that, because you did go in 3 times, didn't you?
Yeah. So when I was 18, I was young, reckless, didn't really have my head screwed on to that degree. I was very academic. I was very smart on paper, but I wasn't paying the bills at the time and I wanted money. So I've done things that I'm definitely ashamed about now, talking about it, but I'm open to talk about it. So sold drugs, went and just criminal activity and got caught. So when I was 18, I went to prison. I got 4.5 years, done 2 years, 3 months, came out of jail, and went and met someone. A very unfortunate situation, but I take full accountability for it. So I met someone, was in a car, and that person had something in the car that I had no idea about. Police pulled us over. They found the thing that's in the car, and I get recalled. So that was the second time. Because
you had just got out of prison, hadn't you?
Just got out. I was out of jail for 10 days.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So I just done 2 years, 3 months. Came out of jail. I've gone and met someone that I thought was my pal, and then ended up in a situation where I've now been recalled. So you got to think like my family devastated. I had a girl at the time. She was devastated. Do you know what I mean? It just wasn't a good look. Like
no, definitely.
You just fit every statistic. Like
you
shouldn't be out, kind of thing, innit? So done that. Came out, and then when I came out the second time. I met someone whilst I was in prison who is my now mentor.
Okay.
And how I met this person was he just come on the wing. There was like maybe 4 people that came on, and he's the only person that looked scruffy. And I was like, oh, did your wife not iron your shirt this morning? And he was like, oh, like she didn't actually. And I was like, I need to get a new wife, like. And and then we just started genuine conversation, like just trying to catch banter with him. And it turned out that he was the chairman of the Prince's Trust and the chairman of Virgin Startup. And he said to me, "Oh, like, how long have you got left?" I said, "I've got a couple of years." He was like, "All right, what do you want to do?" I said, "I want to be a personal trainer." I was like, "All right, cool. When you come out, here's my card. Ring me." So that's what I did. I came out, I rang him, and his friend owned Fitness First at the time, and got me a job in Southend Fitness First.
Yeah.
So I stayed working in the gyms and like done the whole PT round thing, done my courses and whatever, and I started working in the city. So I started working in Tottenham Court Road. So after about maybe like 14 months maybe, and I just started to get bored of the commute. I just started to get bored of like getting up at 4:30, getting on the train, changing at West Ham, going to that whole kind of like city life weren't for me. And I just remember thinking like I could just pick up the phone and make 10 grand. So I did it, and then I was like, oh, that's right. A couple of weeks later, I'm like,
the buzz again.
Yeah, it's like obviously hard work is better in the long run, isn't it? But at that time, I don't know. I wasn't like, I felt like I was working so hard, but not really getting much out of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I can just pick up the phone and make money, innit? Well, I know how to do that. I was like, well, if I just do it once every couple of months, it's all right in my head. Obviously, it's not. But I slowly started to like stop going into work, and I'd call in sick, and I'd be like, I don't even need to. Like, I've made my 3 months worth of wages in 10 minutes. Like, I don't need to do nothing, innit? So I got into that lazy way of thinking. Eventually, fucked off work.
Right.
Went back to the roads and went jail again.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. And what was prison like? What was prison life like for you?
It was different.
Yeah. Was it every experience different?
Yeah. Every experience, because I was different ages.
Right.
And so when I first went there, I was 18. When I went in the third time, I must have been like 24 or something like that. No, maybe like 20. I don't know, 20 something anyway. So when I first went in when I was 18, I was in a young offenders. Now I'm in an adult prison.
Right.
So the dynamics of the prisons are very different.
Okay.
And you meet different people, and yeah, it was just prison, isn't it? It's just a mad, hostile environment.
Yeah. And so what got you through the time in prison, like mentally and physically?
Mentally, I'd say I had a plan
of
what to do when I come out. Well, I knew I was academic. I studied I did like Open University, and I got like a degree and stuff. And where I'd met that guy before, who's my now mentor.
Yeah.
He introduced me to Richard Branson.
Right. Okay.
He brought me around people that like we all aspire to maybe one day be like, right? Really inspiring people. And I thought to myself, I've got this connection.
Yeah.
Like, and I keep fucking it up. The third time I went to prison, he actually come and visited me.
Right, okay.
And he said to me, do you know why you're so mad? It's because like my dad used to be the governor of this jail. And like you don't understand the connections that you have, and you're acting like a prick. So real talk. And I was like, do you know what? I don't, and I'm not taking it seriously. And that for me was like, do you know what? I need to create a plan, come out and just fucking do it. And yeah, that's what got me through it mentally. Physically, I say training, gym every day.
Gym.
Yeah. I just really got like on my fitness and on my routine and stuff. So yeah.
And in 2015, you did change your life around.
Yeah.
And you took your skills that you had in the kitchen, and you created your own business called Fresco Box.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I've actually heard of Fresco Box. And it was only this morning I dawned on me, and I was like, oh my God, Fresco Box, as in Fresco Box. Yeah, mad. And yeah, so you do healthy meal preps.
Yeah.
And it's literally just like blown up. It's a delivery service, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, I started that when I came out of jail, 2015. I had no money. I didn't have nothing.
Yeah.
And I used the prison's system of ordering food.
Okay.
And I literally just took that same method outside.
Right.
And what happened was when I came out, I started working as a PT in my friend's gym for maybe a month and a half, 2 months maybe.
Yeah.
Saved up probably about $2,000 I saved up. And there was an old Subway in Southend that was up for rent.
Okay.
And it was £1,000 a month, and I had $2,000. I had no bank account. I had shit credit, I have nothing. And fortunately, it was a private landlord. And I said to him, look, please just give me a chance, innit? I said, I've got this idea. These times my plan was written down on paper. I'm showing him A4 sheets of paper. Like, look, this is what I want to do and it's going to work. And he was like, do you know what? I'll give you a go, innit? All right, give me the $2,000.
He believed in you.
Yeah, he gave me a chance. He didn't have to. There's plenty of other people that have got more credentials that maybe would have been better suited.
Yeah, right.
As a tenant, I guess. But I take my hat off to him. He gave me a chance and I'm forever grateful for that.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And you have got other businesses as well, haven't you?
Yeah. Now I have. But so what happened with Fresco Boxes, it done really well. Award-winning, sponsored a local football team, like literally blew up, and COVID hit. So what happened just before COVID hit, I got a contract with a gym, DW Fitness First, funny enough, like the same people I used to work for, right? And my contract was to put Fresco Box in their gyms. So I got rid of my physical shops. I was like, I'll just go straight in the gym. It's cheaper rent. It just makes sense to me. I did that at the end of 2019, maybe like October, November times, and then March 2020 come lockdown. So I was fucked. I was finished.
You know when you went into prison 3 times?
Yeah.
Like, what was the day where you thought, do you know what, I can't do this anymore? Like, what made you change your life around and want to go and do your own businesses? Because, you know, the first time, obviously, you didn't learn anything because you didn't read it the second. Well, actually, no, the second time wasn't your fault, was it?
I'd say it was my fault, but I'd say it was unintentionally my fault.
Right, yeah.
Do you know what it is? It's like, when you're young and getting money, you develop this attitude of like, what I'm not saying everyone does, but I did. I developed this attitude of like, how can you tell me anything? Like, I can make more money than you in 2 minutes on my phone. Yeah. Why am I going to listen to you? So I developed that like ego and that attitude of just like pent up, like I'm better than people, I guess.
Yeah.
And then it was only when I came up with the idea of Fresco Box, I was like, this is going to work. Like, I've actually got all the links for it to work. I've got all the knowledge. Like, I've got the whole system.
Yeah.
I think that's what made me focus, because I had something to focus on.
No, definitely.
If I didn't have something to focus on, I might have still gone and done whatever I was doing.
Have you always wanted to do that, or like growing up? You thought...
I'd say because it's all I've known. Okay. Because my parents have businesses, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
So it's like I always knew I couldn't just go into the bank and get a job. Like, not to say I couldn't. That's just not me. Because I've already tried that corporate life before and it didn't work out. I got bored. So I was like, well, obviously, I'm going to have to create my own business and be my own boss in whatever way that definitely is. So, I'd say I have kind of...
And I think it's quite good that you've had your parents look up to with their own businesses, because you don't learn this in school, do you? Like, get your own business, buy your own house. You don't learn all that, do you?
No, sure. And I think that, like, seeing how my parents were disciplined and seeing them get out for work every day, and I'd finish school and go to my mom's shop, and then I'd walk down to my dad's shop. Like, I had that kind of like, it was normal for me, whereas most people that's not normal. So
definitely.
I really get that.
And how did you make your business so successful?
I put in work.
Yeah.
That's it. I put in work. I didn't buy a pair of trainers for about a year.
Oh, really?
I slept in my shop sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking grafted in it. And when I say I put in work, I mean, like...
Did you sleep in your car as well?
Slept in my car. Like, when I opened my second shop in Aylesbury...
Yeah.
From where I live to Aylesbury is probably like an hour and a half drive. There, and like just there. Yeah. That's a 3-hour journey every day. And I'm going there maybe just to have a meeting and driving back. And I thought, you know what? Like, there'd get times where I'd be like, I can't be bothered to drive. I'm too tired. Yeah. Like, I'd sleep in my car. I'd wake up. I'd go boots, get a toothbrush, whatever, shower in the gym and just crack on next day. Like, no one would know nothing. And when I say I was dedicated to the cause, that's why it become what it become, because I had laser beam focus. I focused on one thing and that was it.
Right. And so your life was going really well. And you, I feel like this is your life, you know?
Right? You need the red book, innit? Like, smoky mirrors and that. Like.
Your life was going really well, and you found out you was going to be a dad.
I did.
When you found out, how did you feel?
Do you know what? I was actually in Ibiza at the time.
Right.
So.
With the boys?
Do you know what? I actually wasn't, funny enough. So what I was doing was, that was before I went out with the boys. But so I started doing health retreats in Ibiza. So we'd take people out to Ibiza, do fitness health retreats with them.
Right.
And I remember I was on a health retreat, and I got a message that was just like, "Oh, we need to talk." And I thought about what? What do we need to talk about?
Yeah.
Like, and she wasn't saying it then.
Yeah.
It's like we need to talk in person. But I'm like, listen, I've still got 4 days left out here. Like, what?
Yeah.
Tell me when I get back that you need to talk. Don't tell me now. And I'm my head spinning like, what do you need to talk about?
Yeah.
And she dragged that out. And when I found out, I'll be honest with you, I went on it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm at the height of my career. I don't really want a kid at this moment in time. It wasn't planned, and I kind of did the whole like, fuck that thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
I was like, no, I'm on it. And I just,
And you wasn't boyfriend and girlfriend, was you? It was like a casual thing.
Yeah.
Well.
So he wasn't boyfriend and girlfriend. So it was like, I ran away from the situation.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? I ran away from it. I was like, that's your problem. You deal with it.
No, yeah. Right. And then COVID hits.
Yeah.
And obviously all your businesses then stop.
Yeah.
Because obviously shops ain't open and stuff.
Yeah.
And she gets COVID. Selena gets COVID.
Yeah.
The person you're having a relationship with, seeing.
Yeah.
And so she has to deliver your daughter at 8 months.
Yeah. So
8 months.
What happened was she got COVID.
Yeah.
And I actually took her to the hospital.
Right.
I was actually rang me like, I don't feel right.
Yeah.
Because she was having trouble breathing, like even like walking up and down the stairs, like most people can walk up and down the stairs, you know what I mean, without getting out of breath.
Okay.
She was very healthy. She was vegan. Like went gym every day. Like so, it was very odd. The behaviour of how she was feeling was just different. So we went to the hospital. They originally said that she had a chest infection.
Right. Okay.
And because I was like, we'll keep her in overnight and whatever. Found out that she had COVID, and then it literally just deteriorated so fast. Like a couple of days deteriorated, and I think she went into hospital on a Wednesday. On the Saturday, they rang me like we're about to deliver this baby. Like she needs to have an emergency C-section because with COVID, people used to struggle with their lungs, and they were saying that the baby was maybe putting pressure on her lungs. So if they take the baby out, it will relieve the pressure of her breathing, innit? Because she ain't got to breathe for 2 people, innit?
Yeah.
And they did that, and Love was born, and she was happy, healthy. Obviously, at first they put all these tests on her and stuff, and
that's such a beautiful name as well, Love.
Yeah.
Her mum named her.
Yeah, her mum named her. Yeah, Love still. So that happened, and after that she was just in ICU.
Right. Okay.
And then 10 days later they said she didn't make it. She passed away.
That's right.
Yeah.
So like you're excited because you've got this little girl.
Sure.
Beautiful little girl, and then her mum dies.
Yeah.
Like, what was you like? You're happy and then you're sad. Obviously, what was the emotion? Like, what was you feeling?
It's very hard to put into words, but the only way I can describe it is the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
And the worst feeling in the world at the same time consistently.
Right.
Like literally flittering between the two.
Yeah.
Constantly throughout the day. So it's like obviously I've got my child like she's
You've
happy, she's healthy. I'm super gassed, but at the same time I'm like, how do I deal with this? Like how do I deal with happiness and grief at the same time? So
definitely.
It was a very, very dark time for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it was a really dark time for you, and you got depression and you had suicidal thoughts.
Sure.
How did you get through all of that?
I think my daughter, to be fair.
Really?
I think, it might sound like cliche to say, oh, my kids got me through it, but obviously no one's been in my situation, innit?
Yeah, no, definitely.
But for me, it was a case of like, I had 2 choices. I can either fight or flight.
Right, okay.
I can quite easily give up and just be like, all right, cool, go and stay at like a family member's house and you don't just deal with it.
Yeah.
And I'll just go and like, I don't know, self-sabotage myself to oblivion.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what, like, this happened for a reason, innit? Like, how can... Do you know what it was? Is I had a conversation with my dad, funny enough, and he was like, you see when you was younger, yeah?
Yeah.
Him and my mum got divorced or whatever, but he was like, I could have gone and lived a completely different life and you wouldn't have known me. But I guess I never gave up on you.
Right.
I never gave up on your brothers and sisters. So how can you even have them thoughts of doing that to your own child? And I was like, not for real.
That's true.
Like, and it kind of like triggered my brain back into thinking like, listen, it is what it is. You got to just man up and deal with it, innit?
Yeah.
So,
and did you go to therapy in that as well?
Yeah. I went therapy. Like,
yeah, because not a lot of guys would want to do that, would they? Like,
do you know what it is? I feel like not a lot of guys would want to do that, but my head was so mashed up that I couldn't think straight. Like, I'd wake up and not know what mood I was going to be in, because obviously I'm dealing with all of that. Plus, I've got like a 2-3 month old.
Yeah.
But like, she's waking up every 3 hours crying. So now I've got lack of sleep, like the same things that like normally women would experience, I guess, or parents would experience. I'm doing it on my own, plus having to deal with all my income's gone. So now I'm my head, I was just in a bad place. So obviously I had to go and try and talk about something to someone, like someone hear what I'm saying. So yeah.
And did you have a lot of support from your family and stuff like that?
Yeah. So fortunately, like I got my mum, I got my dad, brothers, sisters, like, so I've got good family support around me. So
no, that's good. A lot of people, some people might not have that either.
Sure.
So that was yeah,
that was definitely
that's really good. Right, raising love. What's it like?
Do you know what? It's hilarious, because it's like there ain't no manual for this. Yeah. Like, every parent's different. Everyone's in different scenarios. Like,
it'd be like a day with like
a day with love.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So it's funny because every day is different. So I'm trying to think of like a particular day, but normally like she'll wake up, or I'll wake her up to get ready for preschool, and she'll have a bath, and then I'll be like, all right, cool. So at the moment she's like just coming at the wet in the bed stage.
Right.
I'm like, but I'll have to gas her up the night before. I'm like, right, if we don't wet the bed, we can watch Paw Patrol in the morning before we go to school. So then she'll come in like, Daddy, I haven't wet the bed. Like, I'm like, all right, cool, we can watch Paw Patrol. So little things like that.
Yeah.
I'm learning in it, and I'm starting to figure out like I don't know how her mind works, I guess. So you would do that, take her to school. She does what she's doing at school. I go to work, come back, pick her up, and I just interact with her. Like, we play, take her to the park, we do things, take her on holiday. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
I don't know. I just do. Yeah. What I've got to do, I guess.
It's and like raising a little girl, you're going to come through a lot of challenges, aren't you? Like,
Her
starting her period, her first boyfriend. And
Sure. It's all going to come into fruition.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, all right, let me cross that bridge when I come to it. Like, let me not think about it now, because it's
you've got your mum and you've got your sister, so they will help you with stuff like that, wouldn't they?
Definitely.
And do you know what you've gone through? I was thinking, like, you could have just given up.
Yeah.
And, but now what you do is you take everything that you've been through into workshops, and you're a motivational speaker. Yeah. Can you just talk a bit about that?
Yeah. So what I figured out was I don't think I'm doing anything that no one else can't do.
Right.
I genuinely don't think that.
Yeah.
I just think that my motivation to do it might be stronger than other people's, just based on what I've been through. But it doesn't mean that other people haven't got their own motivation to do things, right?
Yeah.
So what I try and do is give people the information and the knowledge that I've learned, and just teach it to them. Because when I first got into business, no one told me about trademarking, copywriting, intellectual property. No one told me about sales. No one told me about branding, about how to raise money from event. I had to learn that every day as I was doing it.
Yeah.
So now where I've done those things, I'm like, there's so many people that were actually in a better position than I was when I started. Like, I was ex-offender, been to prison 3 times. I had £2,000. That was it, right? And after I gave them the £2,000, I had nothing, right? I had an idea and I stuck to it. Most people ain't in that position. So you're actually in a better position than I was when I started.
Yeah.
So what makes anyone else think that they can't go and achieve more than what I did with a better head start?
True, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I just try and show people that, look, this is what I did. It worked. I've got the proof of it worked. You can lead a horse to water. If you decide to drink, that's up to you. But I will definitely give the information out. But if you decide to listen and take it on, I'd advise it. If you don't, that's your own business. But that's what I'm trying to do now. Yeah.
And you've recently gone back into prison for a documentary on Channel 4 that's actually out now. I think your episode was on Tuesday, weren't it?
Yeah. I think another one's out tomorrow. It's Tuesday tomorrow. But
yeah. How was that like, going back in there? It's called Banged Up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's called Banged Up. It's on Channel 4. Do you know what? That was such a surreal experience, because you're going back into something you've tried to heal from.
Right.
Like, everyone that participated in it are ex-offenders. Everyone's reformed. Like,
yeah.
So we actually all had to go back into a place that was probably all of our darkest times and act as how we was when we was in prison. It was such like a weird experience because it's not real, but it's actually real. The door's closing. You're actually in there. But it's like, all right, cool, it's not real, but you're still getting them same feelings. The sounds are the same. The smells are the same. The food's shit. Like, it was very hard.
Yeah.
It was definitely very hard, but it was very rewarding because hopefully what that then does is show other people that are out there that, look, this isn't the way to go. Like, I can say that now, but as someone that has been through the system a number of times and came out and just left that life behind, it's like, you know what, you're probably just better off just getting a job and chilling out. Like, there is other ways to make money and it will come, but you just got to focus and not always take the wrong route, because it's not just you that does the time, it's your family, it's your loved ones, the people that are around you that care for you. So it's very selfish in hindsight to take that approach on and think that, oh yeah, I'm just trying to get money. You're not. Like,
be patient.
Be patient and take your time with it. Yeah, for sure.
Do you think you learn lessons in prison?
Yeah, definitely. Listen, I learned my lesson the first day. When I was on the bus, I was like, I'm sorry. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, get me out. Like, okay, I'll get it. Like, you know what I mean? I learned, but it's like, you ain't got a choice. You got to deal with it. So I think it all depends on what you decide to do with your time.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to, for sure. Yeah.
If you could turn back time, is there anything you would change in your life?
I wouldn't, you know.
No,
I like where I'm at now. Like, I'm alright. Do you know what? It's funny you should ask that question, because I do actually sometimes think that, oh, if I was 18 again, would I do this and that? And I'm like, nah, do you know what? I don't live life with no regrets. I just learn along the way. Like,
and we're all on a journey, aren't we?
Yeah, like, so yeah. If I went back to when I was 18, I wouldn't be here with you now, innit? I would have made different decisions and been in another part of the world or whatever I would have been doing. But I embrace who I am and what I'm doing now. And I'm like,
no, definitely.
I won't change a thing.
And what do you hope for the future? And like, where do you see yourself in like 5 years' time?
In the future, do you know what? I see myself doing what I love, which is actually genuinely helping people. Like, I actually get joy out of helping people. And if I could do it for free, I would. If I didn't have bills to pay, I'd go and help people for free. But I realised that, do you know what? Sometimes you got to get in a position first to then be able to help other people.
No, you definitely.
So for me, the next 5 years, I see myself on worldwide stages, giving seminars and talks to people that have been in my position or positions worse than mine, showing them there's another light, pushing them to keep forward and keep going. I see myself healthy. I see my daughter healthy, happy, and that's it. Just free in a sense of like, I haven't got to worry about certain things that I worried about when I was less financially stable. I want to be financially free and be able to go, do you know what? I'm going to make time for you because I want to make time for you. Not because there's an ulterior motive of a transactional thing. It's just like, well, I can afford to. I'm going to go and help you. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. And so I just want to read out a comment that I saw that you put on your social media.
Cool.
Because I think it's something inspiring. And you know what? Everything we've spoken about, we've not even really touched on it, have we?
Yeah.
It's been quite quick and whatever. So I just want to read this out, what you put.
Go on.
And you're like, oh no, what is it?
Yeah.
I lost my child's mother and become a full-time single dad. My business was shut down by police. I lost at least 6 figures in revenue. Had to deal with social services not giving me full parental rights over my child. Fell into a real dark hole of anxiety, depression and even suicide thoughts. I'll keep it 100. But since then, I started and co-founded not 1, not 2, but 3 businesses, quit smoking weed, went on 3 holidays, moved home, created multiple streams of income, have people I'm inspired by around me, follow my passion by doing what I love and still have the freedom to be a dad. If I can do this in 12 months, what's your fucking excuse?
It's true though.
I love that.
It's true.
And I think it's just so inspiring.
And do you know what it is? See, when I wrote that, I wasn't even where I am now.
Yeah.
Like, I wrote that at a time, where I was like, you know what? I believed in myself again. Like, I stopped believing in myself. Like, for at that time, I was like, oh, like, imposter syndrome. Am I good enough? Can I do this? Like, what are people going to think? Like, I had like all these like anxious thoughts. And I just thought, I've been through the worst thing I could have ever gone through, right? Why the hell do I care what anyone thinks?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even matter.
Exactly.
Like, it can't actually get any worse. Like, when I got that into my head, I swear to you, nothing else mattered. I was like, I don't respectfully care what anyone thinks of me because I'm still going to do my thing. And whether you like it or not, that's a you problem.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, when I wrote that, I remember being like super, super gassed and super motivated. And I always thought that where I cared what people thought, I'd be like, oh, am I coming across as arrogant? Do people think I'm arrogant? But it's not.
Yeah.
If you're confident in what you're doing and you can actually back it up with actual facts, like I can say to you, all right, cool, Bianca, like I actually had 3 shops. You can go and see where they were. Like, you can see it. I had like, if it was just like a fairy tale, cool. Like most people talk shit, but where I can back up what I'm saying with actual numbers and facts, I'm like, well, why wouldn't I tell people that?
No, definitely.
Like, why, unless you didn't like me for whatever reason, why would you not feel inspired and look at your own life and go, do you know what? If he can do it, why can't I? And that's kind of the message that I kind of want to put out for people to understand and be motivated by and just learn from the mistakes that I've made so you don't make them. It's very simple. But.
And what was the day when you said that you, like, when you thought you believe in yourself again? Because you've got a mentor. Was it that mentor that...
It was, to a degree.
Right.
With the mentor, it's more of like, I might have an idea and then push that idea and he would advise me in that direction or just things in life and stuff, right?
Okay, yeah.
But I think it comes from you or me. Like, it comes from within. It's like, how much do you want it? There's some people that might want to buy a new car for Christmas, for example, right? How much do you want to buy? Are you willing to sacrifice going out every weekend? Are you willing to cut down your food bill? Do you know what I mean? Sacrifices have to be made in order to get to wherever you want to get to, if that's what you want to do. And if you want it bad enough, you'll get it.
Yeah.
And if you take the necessary steps, you'll get there. It's a very simple formula, and we think it's like being this mad thing. When you look at people like, I don't know, Steve Jobs, for example, Apple, when you look at like the guy that founded KFC, all of these great people that have got these amazing businesses and stuff, there's nothing different between them and us.
Yeah.
They're just doing different things with their time.
Yeah.
And they're sacrificing different things. So if you're not willing to make them same sacrifices that these people have made, you're not going to get to anywhere near where they've got to. So it's a choice, isn't it?
Yeah, and you, I read somewhere where you used to manifest a lot, didn't you? You used to get up, you used to put your suit on, an empty briefcase, and just walk up and down London.
Shall I tell you a mad story?
Yeah.
And it's literally, I was going to tell you the maddest story, right? Literally, all right, cool. So with that story, what happened was when I was just got my daughter and them things there and everything happened, I was trying to get back on my feet. I was like, all right, cool. I need to feel good. I feel depressed and shit. Like, let me put a suit on. I feel good instantly, right? I'm like, all right, do you know what? I'll just go to the city and just walk around Mayfair and just try and connect with people and just talk to people and just like the industry that I'm in now, which is aviation. I was like, okay, I need to talk to people that have got money in it, like, or be around wealth, because right now I'm broke, right? Yeah. So if I go to it, I'm going to manifest it in it. So what happened was I was sitting outside Sexy Fish, and this lady walked past me,
Right.
And she had me on Instagram. And she was like, oh, I got you on Instagram. Like, and I was like, oh, how are you? How are you doing? How's things? Like, she's like, what are you doing there? I was like, oh, I've got a meeting. And I didn't have no meeting. I was just sitting there. Like. But she didn't know that at the time.
Right.
Anyway, she's like, look, I work next door at Pret. Like, you come up here more often because all the people from this members club come here. This person comes here. Like, should be around here more often. You'll definitely bump into someone. So then I started going there every day. When I say, like, I put in work, I mean, like, I wouldn't necessarily advise this, but, like, this is what I did. Like, I'd go into like the Rolls Royce garage and just sit there and sit in a rave and be like, look, I want to smell the leather. Like, I need to feel the wheel. Like, the next time I come here, I'm buying one for my dad, I'm buying one for my brother. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I walked out and manifested in my head. So what happened was this lady that I saw that worked next door, I saw her again, bumped into her, but I planned it. And she was like, oh, I've got someone to introduce you to, and there's these 2 people walking, and they was like, oh, this is so and so and this is so and so. They own a private members club. Give them your email address and come to the private members club and whatever. So I've gone there, paid the fee. It was like literally my last bit of dough, and I met someone in there that became my first client for what I do now. Now, this is maybe 2020. What are we now? 2023.
Yeah.
I'll even show you. This is how recent this happened. Yeah, this is real. This really happened. So I put a post on my Instagram speaking about that story at one of my seminars. Right. Then what happened was she messaged me like, "Oh my God, I didn't know that happened. Oh my God, that's what." Anyway, she messaged me on Saturday. Right. What day is today? Monday.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Said, "Hey, imagine I'm in your area telling my brother to book on your seminar in December, and showed him your picture, and him and his wife were like, that's Love's dad. Their daughter is so-and-so. So my daughter's best friend is her niece's best friend.
Oh my God.
How has that come from?
That's mad.
Honestly, that actually happened, right? So now my head's blown. Like my head has gone, I'm like, wow. The power of talking to people and genuinely connecting with people with no other like ill intention towards other than like, this is just a connection that I want to have in my network, has trickled all the way down to my child going to school with her niece.
That's crazy.
That's, how do you write that?
That's mad.
That's just mad.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. That happened the other day. So now I'm extra gassed. I'm like, all right, cool. Like everything that I said was going to happen is going to happen because it's just a matter of time. And imagine if I was rude to that person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Imagine if I didn't go, she said, I'll see you on Instagram. Imagine if I was just like, oh yeah, cool, whatever. All of those things that happened afterwards wouldn't have happened. And it's like, you got to believe in that domino effect, innit?
Yeah.
Like everything happens for a reason. So yeah, it's just, I thought I'd show you.